Welcome back to the DraftKings Life Podcast. I'm your host, Meg Powers, Talent Acquisition Specialist, and I'm here with our newest member of the DraftKings team and podcast host, Recruitment Marketing Specialist, Rebecca Thornburg. Hey, Becca, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks so much. I'm pumped to be here. I'm very excited to chat with the incredible people we work with here at DK. I just want to give a shout out to make sure you're following the DraftKings Life on social media, except for LinkedIn, we're just DraftKings, for some great content about job openings and what it's like to work here. I'm going to be creating the content, so make sure you follow.
Love it. Great. Well, let's jump into this week's episode. Today, we are talking about responsible gaming. It's one aspect of DraftKings that we take very seriously. We provide our players with tools to set budgets, limits, and cool-off periods, and always give players the option to self-exclude when using all of our verticals like Sportsbook, Casino, Marketplace, and Daily Fantasy. We have a whole team dedicated to making sure we have resources available for people, both to keep DK fun and safe while they're playing, as well as for those who may need any type of gambling help. So with that, I have the pleasure to introduce to you our Senior Responsible Gaming Director, Chrissy Thurmond, and Senior Responsible Gaming Manager, Julie Hynes.
Hello, hello.
Thanks.
Hey, pumped to be here.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you.
Awesome. So to kick off this episode, we're going to start with a quiz about responsible gaming. Julie's going to ask Meg and I some questions, and we will see if we can answer them correctly. So Julie, I want you to take it away.
All right, y'all ready for this?
I hope so.
Okay, all right, here we go, Meg. We're going to start with you. Okay, this is a multiple choice question. What is DraftKings responsible gaming tagline? A, make every moment safer. B, it's more fun when it's for fun. Or C, don't get busted by the fun police.
Ooh, I actually don't know the answers to these ahead of time. I am seeing these for the first time now, just for our listeners. I believe it's B. It's more fun when it's for fun.
Yes, that's right. And we have actually trademarked that it is more fun when it's for fun. And we like to keep it safe and healthy here at DraftKings. All right, Becca, your turn. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, it's a myth or fact question. Myth or fact? Using limit setting tools is indicative of someone having a problem with their gambling.
Oh, I'm going to go with myth on this one, because I feel like if you have a limit setting, you know who you are, you know that you're responsible, but it may not necessarily be a problem. All right.
Ding, 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 ding. That is absolutely correct. We encourage everybody to use our limit setting tools. Using our limit setting is indeed something that's healthy and we want people to be able to do. So we have tools that set for max wager limits, time limits, how much they want to spend total on the site, deposit limits. So yes, you are on point with that. Good job, Rebecca.
Woo!
Yeah. All right. I wish we had some prizes for y'all here. We
do
have our Dream DK swag.
Yeah, I'll take the street cred versus Becca.
Awesome. Street cred. All right, Meg, back to you with the street cred. Myth or fact? Financial issues are a main cause of relationship issues among people with gambling problems. The main cause of relationship problems.
I'm going to try and go with fact.
Ooh, this is a tricky one. It's a really tricky one. So good guess. Financial issues are indeed a big factor in relationship problems. Oftentimes people lose trust. They realize that there's money missing that they didn't know was missing. But financial issues, while they are a big cause of relationship problems, they're not the only cause. I just mentioned trust, and that is a key factor that's in there, as well as other problems that happen with someone's life with a gambling problem. So good guess. All right, Becca, back to you. Here's another multiple choice question. What's that?
If I answer that one, I would have said fact too. So.
All right. Hey, I like you're keeping it real here. All right. So you guys are both, let's see. Becca's in the lead here so far. Becca, multiple choice. What is the most commonly advertised 24-hour helpline for gambling problems in the United States? A, 1-800-GET-HELP. B, 188 out of luck. Or C, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Ooh, I'm between A and C, but A is more like broad. C is more specific. I'm going to go with A.
Oh, get help. While that is a good guess, it is actually 1-800-GAMBLER. It's a very recognizable tagline for people who have who want to reach out for help. That being said, there's a whole bunch of numbers across the United States, and this one, though, is the main one that we often hear about. Good guess. All right, now you're tied. But because we have an odd number of questions, Meg, you have a chance to take the lead. So how about we put this both for both of you? Ooh. Whoever guesses first wins. Okay, Meg and Rebecca, what resource does DraftKings not share for people seeking help for gambling problems? A, gambling helpline numbers. B, information on help by state. C, self-exclusion resources. D, bet blocker. Or E, none of the above.
I'm going E.
Yeah, E, definitely E.
All right, Meg answered first, and you're correct. We have all of these resources and way, way more. You can find them on our patient protection page. Bet Blocker is a resource that we really want to tout also for people who want to not engage with any products ever with any kind of gaming across the world. So great job, you guys. You did awesome. And we could talk about some of those resources, but let's kick it on back over to you guys.
Yeah, that was awesome. I'm excited to talk about those resources and learn more. We want our people to use our products for fun. And if it gets to an unsafe level, we provide ways for people to get help. Chrissy, can you talk about what responsible gaming means to DraftKings?
Absolutely. My pleasure. And I want to commend you both. That was an awesome job in the quiz. So thanks for participating. So what the responsible gaming program here at DraftKings really entails is it's about going above and beyond, right? We are a regulated industry, and we are very in tune with regulations and compliance that we have to adhere to. So limit setting, cool off periods, self-exclusions, we're required to do that. What the RG team at DK is doing is we're doing all the above and beyond. So one of the things that we really take pride in is we have set up our program for a systems-based approach. And really what that means is that every aspect of the business participates in some way, shape, or form with the RG. We consider everybody part of the RG team. What we're really trying to do is just implement RG as a company-wide core value. So to that extent, Julie and I are in front of every new employee upon onboarding. They get an overview of the program. They hear about responsible gaming. It's in their mind, regardless of where they sit within the organization. And then they're required to take RG training annually thereafter. And so I think that in order for us to make sure that we get it fully systems integrated, that having that touch point right at the get-go is extremely important. Another aspect that I think is really important that we're very keen on at the RG team is that our information is evidence-based. And so we want to make sure that we're providing the information to our employees and to our players that is based on the most up-to-date information and the information is based in science and evidence. And to that extent, we have unbelievable relationships with external stakeholders. So for example, currently we are working with the Harvard Medical School Division on Addictions that sits at Cambridge Health Alliance. They are the preeminent research center in the world, basically, on gambling. And so they help inform us in our education and training programs with our data and science, data analysis and our data aspects of our RG program. The other thing that we do is that we have a seat at the table. We want to contribute to the knowledge base. We want to be part of the team that is engaged in the dialogue. So we sit on various committees. Julie and I both sit on the American Gaming Association Responsibility Committee. We sit on the National Council on Problem Gambling Committees. And we really engage with organizations that are pushing the needle forward in responsible gaming. So, and to that end, we also want to make sure we're funding the evidence-based research so that we are part of the solution, if you will. So we have just engaged in an unbelievable funding, 3 funding areas, actually one with the Kindbridge Research Institute that is looking at special populations. Specifically, we're looking at veterans, because we know that veterans have a higher propensity for problem gambling and addiction disorder. And it really ties in beautifully with our SERVES program, and particularly with our HEROES program within SERVES. So it really is this great symbiotic relationship. We also have just recently funded research with the International Center on Responsible Gaming, one of the first studies on prevalence and sports wagering in the US. So we're really proud to be contributors to that. And then we have just funded over $1.5 million to the state councils that exist across the United States, so that they're the grassroots organizations that actually help people once they identify with the problem. And so they're not federally funded. They are really often, strapped and looking for funding. And so we decided at DraftKings that we're going to make a 3-year commitment to funding these organizations. They can use the funds in any way they see fit. And we'll have that dialogue with them so that they can feed us information about players that have problems that then we can incorporate into our training programs. And so it's all just really great stuff. And again, the motto here is going above and beyond.
It speaks volumes to that, just having you rattle off all those things. It really seems like DraftKings is taking it a step further and really does care. And that's something I know all employees here really appreciate. One thing one of our coworkers said that I've loved: the more knowledge of responsible gaming, the better our products can be. So Julie, I know you've been working on our Safer Play portal. Can you break that down for us?
Yeah, so the Safer Play portal right now is for employees at DraftKings. We want everybody here that comes into the company to feel equipped to address any kind of responsible gaming, whether it's resources, whether it's knowledge, also how to use our products, right? We want people to, when they walk through the door, either whether literally or walk through the Zoom door, is to understand how our products work and how our responsible gaming tools work. So we invite, as Chrissy mentioned, we have everybody who comes to DraftKings at onboarding. We talk about these tools. We talk about everything that Chrissy's been talking about as far as our initiatives, just so people, even if they're an engineer, they might not come in a day-to-day contact with some of this stuff, but they may be curious and they may just want to know that DraftKings is doing the right thing. We're doing the right thing by our players. We're doing the right thing by our employees. And to that extent, the Safer Play portal really reaches out to employees, gives them this kind of resources that they may want. We have training events for them if they want to get involved more. We're always here via our method of communication. Main method is Slack. We're also here via email. We have all kinds of ways in which we want to openly communicate with our employees around that. And the Safer Play portal really is that portal to help people do that.
It is such a robust resource. Julie has put in unbelievable amount of time in creating it. And I really want to encourage our employees. We do it through onboarding, but again, I'm taking the time to kind of promote this because it is something that everybody can find something that is useful to them in it. And the more people we get engaged with it and the more people that just bookmark it and have it as a resource, I think the better off we are, because it's really cool.
Definitely. We want, our employees rely on us and you all to provide all of these resources. And I think it really does stand out and speak volumes to one of our DraftKings behaviors, which is do the right thing. So, everybody who's listening, make sure you check that out. I know for those who can't see Chrissy, she has it up on her screen. We're pushing it here. So definitely go check that out. I know we've talked a lot about some of the pillars and some of the other awesome projects you all are working on. I'd love to hear, how do you work with our marketing teams to make sure we're promoting responsible gaming when people are using our products?
Meg, that is such an awesome question. And I am so proud of our marketing and advertising teams. I cannot tell you. I started DraftKings a little over 2 years ago, and we really didn't have any marketing and advertising around responsible gaming. Now we have got the entire group working on unbelievable messaging. So as Julie mentioned up front, and as she always has on her screen as well, our tagline is, it's more fun when it's for fun. And it's really that fundamental. It truly is that mission. That's really what we're about. So to that end, we work very closely with the social team, with TV, with CRM, retail, and also stadiums. And so We put out 2 tweets a week minimally that focus on responsible gaming. They tend to be around RG tips, for example, take a break, set limits, use the budget tools, just kind of really quick information that people just kind of can take a quick look at and engage with. I'm just so proud. One of the other things that we do really well is with CRM. We've engaged with them a lot, and we put out RG messages to all new people on when they sign up in their first deposit. And we also send out RG specific emails every other month to all our eligible players that just say, this is tips and information. Here are some myth busters, kind of like the quiz Julie did. We make sure that it is only RG related and that players are getting these kind of, every other month, not inundating, kind of just soft touches, but just kind of FYI, we've got this stuff for you. The other thing that was really cool with them is that we put out a Braze Pop. We've done it a few times, and it's kind of surprised me and the RG team. The Braze Pop got a click rate as high as some of our biggest promotions, which indicates to me that people are really interested in this. They want to see what it's about. They follow it through. So, we're still collecting metrics around that, but it was really positive for us to see. And then as far as our retail spaces is concerned, we partnered with the American Gaming Association and their tag, which is have a game plan, bet responsibly. So we were the first U.S. operator to have our responsible gaming messaging in all our retail spaces. And we partnered with the AGA on that. And again, just something I'm really proud of. It was a heavy lift, and everybody just, as typical DK, just stepped up, made it happen. And again, first U.S. operator to do it. And then lastly, we've got some really cool messaging in our MLB parks. Currently, we're with the Phillies, the Cubs, and the Rockies. They're up in the stadiums. It's awesome messaging. And so I will continue to see that more and more. But Meg, I'm so glad you asked about marketing because they really have a soft spot in my heart. They just have embraced this in a way that is so impressive. So I love them.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think there's just so much that we do, and the focus is on the people when it really comes down to it. And I think that's just amazing. And I'm sure both of you have seen and heard so many stories about people dealing with addiction. We know that while the vast majority of people play for entertainment and fun, research shows that approximately 2 to 3% of the general population has a gambling problem. So I want to ask both of you, how has our commitment to responsible gaming helped people and actually made an impact?
Yeah, that's a terrific question, Rebecca. And it does hit our hearts, both of us. When we get asked about responsible gaming here, whatever our roles used to be and are now, it kind of goes into right about the problem, right? And we try to take it back into, like most people, we really talk about responsible gambling. We're talking about keeping it healthy. We're talking about keeping people just playing for entertainment. But as you pointed out, there are a small percentage of people that do have problems. And it's touched my heart. It's touched people that I know. And it is an addiction, just like a substance use disorder, alcohol use disorder, but it's more easy to hide for people. And that's the thing that's really kind of difficult to suss out, especially as an online operator, when we're dealing with people who are communicating with us online mostly, right? And so we are really proud at DraftKings to be able to then train our people to help identify some of those things. What are some key areas where someone might say something, maybe a red flag, which would be obvious, like, can you expedite my withdrawal? I need to pay my rent. But there also might be softer things that someone might say, like, oh, please don't send something to my house because I don't want my spouse to see it, or something like all caps, or something like really urgent. And so we train our employees, and we're really proud. We train our employees to empathize, to understand, to communicate, and then what to do if they do recognize something that may be problematic. And we have an entire team that is dedicated to then working with those accounts, working with players. And as Chrissy pointed out, nudge, right? We don't want to hit anybody over the head. But at the same time, if we're noticing somebody has a problem, and we would agree that all operators would probably say they don't want anybody having a problem using their products. And we just don't at DraftKings. We want to make sure that people are enjoying them, that they're using for entertainment, and they're not spending money, time, or energy, or losing their relationships in their life.
Yeah. And just to piggyback up on that, again, it just kind of goes to the saying, it's more fun when it's for fun. When you're able to enjoy something and do it for fun, like the predominance of our players, it creates a sustainable player base. Both Julie and I, it is never easy to hear stories about somebody struggling or to, hear these, big sensational stories because of the low prevalence rate. When we hear something, it can be big and really pronounced. And what we want to do is, really kind of look at this in many aspects, like, from a public health perspective. We want to just make sure that we are protecting those who need protection and, mitigating the harm for those who may have engaged with it or have that issue. And so to that end, we just want to make sure that all our tools and our resources and our employees, are the most robust they can possibly be. So we're always going above and beyond. We're always trying to add new tools. We have our finger on the pulse of what's out there. Being fairly new in the U.S. market with OSB and iGaming, it's only been 4 years since PASPA. So there's a lot coming at a very rapid pace. And so, as Julie said, we suss out that stuff. We want to make sure that our players are able to access resource and tools, whether it's state specific, setting limits. We also have things like people can download self-help toolkits or take an assessment. And so we really just want to make sure that for those who engage and identify as having problematic issues around their gambling, that we can, as Julie said, give a soft nudge, provide resources, have our player protection team engage with them, and really, make sure to the extent that we possibly can at DraftKings provide people with the option to set a play experience that makes the most sense for them. And so, I'm just really proud of kind of where we are right now. I am so optimistic about the future and where we're going in responsible gaming. And it's, it's really cool to see this systems-based approach, kind of all the different components of the company coming together and really kind of filling it out. It's been awesome to see.
You both have done such amazing work, and it's so cool to see all of these programs come to light. So thinking a little bit about the future, I just wanted to see in the future, if your team grows, what types of advice would you give to candidates looking to join the responsible gaming team?
That's an awesome question, Meg. So working with you has been awesome. So having the talent team really know what responsible gaming is, and you and I got to meet, you and I actually brought Julie on, which is the best. But I think, it's really important that people are aware of it. One of the things that I'm hearing a lot is that Julie and I are actually both hearing through our trainings is that people will put in their feedback saying, I came to DraftKings because they had, corporate social responsibility. They had an RG program. They have the IEB program. So I think so much of kind of making sure that these above and beyond the things that really matter to people, like responsible gaming, working for a gaming company, but also knowing that they have a responsible gaming program, that there are people there whose job is just to make sure that people, to the extent we can, are engaging with our products safely and in a way that makes sense for their safer play. So I think, the advice I'd give is, be engaged and learn about it, and, always reach out to us. We are, as I said, we're just a little over 2 years old here, and we are going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to be a meaningful and significant part of the company. So, engage with us. We're always happy to answer questions. No question is ever bad, wrong, stupid. We will take anything. And, it's a dialogue and it's a learning experience. I call them teachable moments, right? So, we can get as many teachable moments in front of people as possible. What else do you think, Jules?
Yeah, I agree 100% with all of what you just said. And the other thing that I would say is that, knowledge can be taught. We can learn things, but passion is something that comes within, right? And so if you're out there, you're listening, you're thinking, wow, I'm really pumped up about this. I really want to do the right thing. Whether it's with our IEB team or whether it's with us, Responsible Gaming Service Program, whatever, we are really excited about the work that we're doing and we're passionate about it. So if you feel like, I don't know if I have all those tools, if you're out there and you're thinking, I just want to kind of dip my toe in the water and see what this is all about. Yeah, reach out. I mean, that's what we're here for. We have, Megan and Rebecca, we have the most amazing talent acquisition team and people team here at DraftKings. So just reach out. We're on LinkedIn also. Just feel free to touch base with us. And RG is where it's at, man. That's where things are moving.
Awesome.
Moving and shaking.
That's going to be our new tagline for the podcast. Sorry. Moving and shaking with the RG team. Well, it makes me feel good to know that we're actively helping people and making an impact. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call the 24/7 helpline, 1-800-522-4700. We also have other resources posted on our website for more help as well.
And I'm so excited to see how this team can help so many more people and continue to do the right thing for our players and employees. Thank you guys so much for this eye-opening conversation. There was so much energy and so much good conversation. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And congratulations on your first podcast, Becca. It was awesome. Woo! You go, girl.
Woo! I know. It was great. Felt great. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow us on social media at DraftKings Life, except for LinkedIn. We're simply DraftKings. This podcast is available on all major podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google. We got you. Be sure to download, listen, and even throw us a 5-star rating. Until next time, be safe, be kind, and take care.